Witnessing tragedies is part of life, but what is not normal is witnessing a tragedy, while completely doing nothing to help the victims. And that's just plain merciless. What's even brutal is that most of us would prefer to watch victims suffer rather than swoop in to help them. That is the bystander effect. For you, you may have been scrolling through your social media feed and stumbled upon a video of a fight breaking out on the bus. Maybe it's two teenagers yelling or someone cutting in line. You see people around them, just watching, filming even, but no one seems to step in. Our social media world today is full of content like this. But what really is happening here? It's a weird feeling, right? Like a tiny voice in your head whispers, "Shouldn't someone do something?" But then a bigger voice pipes up with excuses. Maybe it's not that serious, or someone else will probably handle it. This, my friends, is the bystander effect in action. The bystander effect is this fascinating phenomenon where the more people who witness an emergency, the less likely any one of them is to actually help. It's like a social paralysis, and it can happen to any of us. Studies by social psychologists Bib Latane and John Darley showed that in some cases, even with dozens of bystanders, no one intervened to help a person in distress. Here's the science behind it. Imagine you're walking down the street and see someone trip and fall, scraping their knee. There's a good chance you'll stop and offer a hand, right? But what if there are 10 other people around? Suddenly, the responsibility to help feels a bit more diffused. We might think, well, someone else will surely help, and that little voice urging us to act gets quieter. This diffusion of responsibility is a big culprit in the bystander effect. Another major factor is social influence. We often look to others for cues on how to behave in a situation. If everyone around us seems calm and unconcerned, we might subconsciously conclude that the situation isn't serious enough to warrant intervention, or even that the victims deserve their suffering. Think about it like this. Have you ever been in a crowded movie theatre when the fire alarm goes off? At first, there might be a moment of confusion. People look around to see what others are doing. If everyone seems calm and slow to move, it can be tempting to follow suit, even if you know you should probably be heading for the exit. The bystander effect isn't just about dramatic emergencies, it can also play a role in everyday situations. Imagine you're on a hike in a beautiful national park and you see a group of teenagers littering the trail. You might feel a pang of annoyance, but the bystander effect might hold you back from speaking up. After all, they're just teenagers, right? And besides, there are other park rangers around, surely they'll handle it. But here's the thing, by letting the bystander effect win, you're missing opportunities to make a positive difference in the world, big or small. The good news is, there are ways to overcome this effect and become an active bystander. The first step is simply being aware of the bystander effect. Knowing that it exists can be half the battle. When you find yourself in a situation where you witness someone needing help, take a deep breath and challenge those little voices in your head. Here are some practical tips you can use to improve your response to events that trigger the bystander effect. 1. Don't wait for someone else to act. Be the first one to speak up or offer help. 2. Be direct. Instead of a vague shout for help, single out a specific person and ask them to assist. 3. Confidence is key. Even if you're feeling nervous, project confidence and take charge of the situation. 4. Safety first. Assess the situation and prioritize your own safety before directly intervening. And 5. Remember, even a small act of intervention can make a big difference. Maybe you stop someone from littering or help a lost tourist find their way. These seemingly minor actions can create a ripple effect of positive change. The bystander effect can be compared to a phenomenon we all experience as travelers: the diffusion of responsibility for cleanliness in public spaces. Think about airplane bathrooms, for instance. Because everyone uses them and no one person feels particularly responsible for cleaning them, they can become messy quickly. The same logic applies to tourist attractions or crowded beaches. If everyone throws away their trash or cleans up after themselves, these spaces stay pleasant for everyone. Ultimately, overcoming the bystander effect is about cultivating empathy and taking responsibility for the world around us. By being aware of this effect and taking action when needed, we can all become active bystanders, creating a more positive and helpful world one step at a time.